Welcome to the Get Real Podcast, your high-octane boost of full-on reality therapy for personal, business, and investing success with your host, Ron Phillips, because somebody's got to tell it like it is.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Get Real Podcast. Ron Phillips here with Heather Marchant.
Hello, everyone. This one's going to be heavy today. I have a feeling.
I am giving you the warning that it will likely at some point occur that I will swear. I don't know how to not.
I'll try to go like beep as you.
I don't know how to not.
Oh, yeah. We're both wearing black, Ron. We're both wearing black. It's like.
See, and you know, I should go put on some sunglasses or something. This is insane. Insane. So.
Yeah.
Listen, if you are an investor or if you have blood pumping through your veins, if you're alive and you can breathe, this likely affects you. And there are very few things, Heather, that piss me off to the point where I will say things that I probably shouldn't say, and I'm gonna there's gonna be pregnant pauses, I'm guessing, during this as well. That's where I'm trying to determine what to say and how to say it so that I don't offend you, the listener, today.
Pregnant pauses. I've never heard that before, but that's awesome.
Yes. Yes. And then we're going to end with some good news. So this whole thing is not about, bad news. We're going to start with bad news because you all need to hear this. Yeah. This is serious. Just received an email today. Heather, you received it too. We both read this thing.
But it's interesting. I should note, Ron, that when I read it, I didn't keep reading. I skimmed the beginning because you called me on it and you said that's what everyone's going to do is they're going to read just the beginning and tune it out. So that's why it's an important conversation, even more so.
Let me tell you why this is. I want to preface this whole thing with, I have already called my senators and my congressmen, and I have never in my 47 years called to talk to those morons ever. That's how bad this is.
Yeah.
And I am encouraging everyone to just stop. Don't send the stupid email. Call them. They need to be overwhelmed with phone calls so that they'll actually do something about this. So what is this? The
email was titled "Urgent Message" from one of our favorite self-directed IRA custodians, and it's urgent news because there is a budget reconciliation bill that is
should have nothing to do with anything that the IRA company should be concerned about. It is a budget reconciliation bill. This is not where you pass laws and things that affect the population like this. This is not where you do that. This is not how this is done, people.
This is how shady people do things, though. So,
see, I almost
put it out there.
I almost called them something else, and I stopped myself, Heather.
I'll help you, Ron. I'll help you.
Oh, okay. So. Included in this $3.5 trillion budget reconciliation bill, which should choke everybody anyway, good hell, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Is language that will have drastic and detrimental effect on retirement plans. That's right, people, your retirement plans. So,
and like everyone's retirement plan.
Yeah. And as soon as I'm not sure if they're even ever going to say anything about this on any media ever, anywhere. Because this is buried so deep in the budget reconciliation bill. You can imagine there's $3.5 trillion in this reconciliation bill. So this is a small piece, right?
Yep.
But buried inside of this thing, this travesty that they're doing is, we're going to read down through the points of this, but this directly impacts retirement accounts. And it starts off with this whole AOC eat the rich. I don't know if you guys saw that. What a joke. that stupid chick wore an tax the rich dress to a $30,000 a plate dinner. I mean,
Yeah.
Well,
that's when I stopped reading it, you guys.
I'm not sure I can do this. I'm so pissed at these people right now. I can barely get words out.
We have to just go through how it affects everybody and then get to the emotion of it. Because I think, Ron, the reason it affects you so deeply, having been friends with you for so long, is that you care about the average person, because there are ways to move money for the wealthy to be able to avoid these things. And I know that gets your blood boiling because I know you. And that
because
it is
this is what these look.
Yeah.
Every time these bastards say they're doing something to hit the rich, really all they're doing is all their rich buddies are in the clubhouse. They are yanking up the rope ladder so that you can't get up there at the same place they are.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. So let's get into this before
let's talk about each individual thing. So the first one is that you can't really have contributions to an IRA over 10 million. Correct?
Yes. And basically what they're saying is that anything over 10 million. So if you've done a really good job, you've grown your portfolio, it's worth $10 million. And that's across your, that's not just in your Roth or in your traditional, that's everything.
Everything.
If you're there and you make over $400,000 or $450,000, then you have to distribute.
Which is crazy. Like it's
What's
giving
over
you a
that?
cap. It's giving you a cap.
And if you're not 59 and a half, then you also, not only do you get to pay the tax in that year, but you also get to pay the penalties. They didn't even take the penalties away. And they have not grandfathered this in either. This is not like the next 10 million that you make. This is what you have in your retirement account.
December 31st, 2021.
Now, there's some of you on there are going to be like, I'm so far away from $10 million. This doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. And I kind of stopped reading at that point. I just kind of skimmed through it and went, oh, this is for kill the rich type of legislation. And I stopped reading, which I think is what most people will do, Ron.
Yeah. And here, and let me just make one point. At any point when we see something that is so heinous like this, and we say, well, it doesn't affect me.
I know.
It just affects those rich people over there. We really need to have some introspection.
Yeah.
Because man, that is a nasty thing to think about other people. This is un-American. I don't care if you have a $10 million. I don't have one. I don't have that much money in a retirement account.
Yeah.
But there's no way in hell I want this to happen to somebody who does.
Yeah.
It's un-American.
Yeah.
So this is in Roths. People, do you even understand that inside of a Roth, they've already paid the taxes on the Roth? That's the whole point of a Roth.
Yeah.
And now these bastards are going to completely wipe out what a Roth is supposed to do. So if you've done really well and you've made it inside of your Roth, you've already paid the taxes once, they're going to tax you again. And then you can't leave it to your kids for generations like all of the other rich bastards have been able to do since the dawn of time. It's just you can't do it now.
Yep. Which, I mean, the other thing that they're doing is they're basically not allowing you to convert to a Roth anymore, right? Which is like, okay, I guess that hasn't always
the loophole, and it was a loophole. So okay, I mean, awesome. We all figured that was going to be eliminated at some point because you'd like to think that they're idiots and they just overlooked that, but that's not what they did. They actually left that in there for everybody. You know, that was a buy off. You know.
But then if it exceeds 10 million, the part that blew my mind on this as well, I mean, it's kind of like as you read more, it kind of blows your mind at an even further level. So if you exceed 10 million, you have to take a distribution, right? Forced distribution. And then you pay the penalties for distributing it early.
And so, guys, this isn't even the bad part.
Yeah, I know.
This isn't even the bad part yet.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It builds on itself. So if you have to be forced by the government to take your funds out of your Roth account, but then they charge you a penalty for obeying the law. That's insane. Like you're
Oh,
still
wait,
have to pay.
it gets better
penalties.
because they're going to do that again on some other things here. Because the bill prohibits an IRA holder from holding, an IRA from holding any security if the security issuer requires the IRA owner to have a certain minimum level of assets or income. Now, you realize what that means. Some of you out there are going to be like, well, I don't have anything like that. Well, you do if you've invested in any private placements. You absolutely do, because those are only available for accredited investors. So this just kills the ability to invest through your IRA into accredited investments. But that's not all.
But wait,
not only does it dramatically limit these private placement investments, it basically makes it so that they're forcing 100% distribution of the assets, even if you're unable to sell them. So if you're unable to sell the asset, you're only going to have 2 years to pay all the regular income taxes and penalties at fair market valuation. So if you can't get your money back out of the investment, doesn't matter. You're still forced to distribute the assets. You still have to pay the taxes and the penalties in the same year.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's irrelevant.
It's like this is how they're planning to fund this multi-trillion-dollar bill. Is like
they're stealing.
Yes. People's
from
retirement.
People who followed the rules.
Yeah.
They made these rules and now they're going, well, we don't like those rules anymore. So we're going to, it used to be that when people changed the rules of a game, they got their asses kicked. That's what used to happen to people who did this stuff back when I was in school. That's what happened to them. And that's really what happened. That's what should happen to them right now. They should get their asses kicked out and we should put some real people in there.
Yeah.
And politicians, all of them, we should just vote every one of them out because they're all pathetic. Every single one of them is pathetic. Lindsey Graham didn't even answer that. Nobody in his office even answered the phone. You have to leave a message for those. Tim Scott, to his credit, somebody actually answered the phone in his office. You guys need to call. We're not done yet either, Heather.
I know. It's so sad that there's more, but I think the fact that my concern too, in addition to this, is the precedence that this sets, right? That like, oh, just it's like yanking the rug out from someone who's built wealth. So and maybe these people make a difference in society. Maybe there probably are the people that are the generous nonprofit givers. And now we're just pulling all their money and penalizing them for keeping the law.
What? What did they do to deserve this penalty? What did any of us do to deserve this penalty? Please explain, Mr. Biden and the rest of all you ilk up there. Please explain what it is that anybody did to deserve this nonsense.
Yeah.
Everybody that has an IRA like this, they played by the rules. You don't get to do this. This is the first time ever where they have not granted a grandfather clause for everybody who was already following the rules.
Yeah, changing the rules, but changing the rules and penalizing everybody for keeping the rules is mind-blowing.
It gets worse because they're expanding for only one reason. They're expanding the IRA, the limitations for IRA non-compliance from 3 years to 6 years, which means they can go back now 6 years instead of 3 years. And they're going to fund the IRS another $72 billion just to go find people who are violating.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable.
We're not even done yet.
I know. Pregnant pause.
We're not even done yet. We're not even done yet.
What's next then, Ron?
So to prevent self-dealing, right? An owner cannot invest their IRA assets in a corporation, partnership, or trust, or estate in which they have a 51% or greater interest. So all y'all that have LLCs in your IRAs, illegal. Overnight, illegal. Overnight.
I have a lot of clients that have that.
There are, I don't know how many thousands of people who have those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the way this was worded. This would essentially put a spear through the heart of owning any kind of LLC in an IRA or qualified plan. A spear in the heart.
The implication for single member LLCs is drastic. This may also cause a problem for holders of real estate because there will be a leniency in the bill for the IRS to make its own rules on the disposition of non-marketable securities. So let me translate that for you. They're going to pass this monstrosity. They're going to kick it over to the IRS, and the IRS is going to go, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
We get to make all the rules now. Legally, we get to make all the rules. And so if they want to, they can just say, you can't own real estate. And then guess what? All your real estate gets distributed. And guess what you get to do? You get to pay tax on all of that. Whether it's a Roth IRA or it's not a Roth IRA, it's irrelevant. Doesn't make any difference anymore.
Yeah. It's interesting. I found this line really interesting too. It says this legislation, in a supposed attempt to limit retirement savings for very large IRA and defined contribution retirement account balances, so the wealthy, will actually end up having a drastic detrimental impact on the average IRA account holder.
Which is always what happens.
Yeah.
They never hurt their buddies.
Yeah.
They stick it to the little guy every single time. And then they say, never in the history of our country have individuals been limited to making contributions to IRA or defined benefit plans, irrespective of how much they already have saved in such accounts. It shouldn't matter how well you've done inside of your account. It shouldn't matter how well you've done.
It's sickening.
Absolutely,
like makes my stomach sick.
This is the first time in the history of the United States government that Congress is not grandfathering any contributions or gains made and forcing distributions while stopping completely the ability to add income for non-negotiable securities such as real estate in an LLC.
Oh. The average client of mine, you know.
I mean, they're basically taking all of the trillions of dollars in retirement accounts, and they're forcing it back to their buddies and donors in the securities industry. That is what they're doing.
I have a question, Ron. I mean, how will that impact if everyone has to sell and they have to sell like right now? That's a rush on one type of industry or maybe a couple industries, right? That they have no choice but to sell. So how does that impact the markets, right? I mean, it's like,
I don't even know the implications. We're going to have to do a second round on this. I've got to get my buddy John Gillane on.
Yeah.
I'll see if we can get him on and talk to him about this. It's going to gut self-directed IRA companies, gut them. What is the point of having a self-directed IRA if you can't self-direct it? All you can do is go back to buying stocks and bonds and anything regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission other than private placements, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the part that really sunk the whole thing for me is it says there's a 70% chance that this is going to become law, and the president has already said he will sign it.
Of course, it's a budget reconciliation bill. Why wouldn't they sign it?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what else it does? The provisions were hidden deep within this bill, not only to prevent discovery, but also so it would only take 50 senators and a VP tie-breaking vote to make this law. Never in the history of the U.S. government has there been an attempt to take retirement plans or change retirement planning law without a separate bill. No kidding. The separate bill requires 60 senators, which they do not have. So they stuck this thing in a budget reconciliation bill, buried it in there so that no one talks about it, so that you all don't know about it. And then you're just going to wake up one morning and everything you've been doing in your IRA is illegal. You're going to get taxed on it and penalized on it, and it's going to just sock everything. So every single person listening needs to tell everyone they know to call their senators and their congressmen and tell them that they need to get their butts in gear and do their damn job and stop this nonsense. This needs to be removed from the budget reconciliation bill. It needs to be put in a bill all by itself if that's what they want to do. Yeah. Show it to the American people like they're supposed to, and then vote on it, because there's no way in hell they'll ever get 60 votes on this.
Well, and it's coming up really fast. You guys, it's end of September. I mean, we're recording this on September 16th. That's not much time left before.
And has anyone heard about this?
I haven't heard about it.
This isn't on the news anywhere.
No.
This needs to be trending on social media. You all need to get out there and put this everywhere. And it needs to be shared so that people can wake up and know what is going on in the government. Yeah. And I don't care if you voted for Joe Biden, you love Joe Biden, you hate Donald Trump, or you're just like me and you hate every single politician. You need to call these people and you need to tell them this is completely unacceptable. Period. Hard stop.
Well, and this ends with time is of the essence and it's your money. Protect it from government taxation without representation.
And just in case you didn't think the government would do something like this, they took the gold. Not too many decades back, they took people's gold. The government absolutely will do crap like this. They've proven it before. And it takes the people rising up to do something about it. So if you're as pissed as I am, or if you're half as pissed as I am, or a quarter of a pissed, tenth of pissed as I am, you need to call your congressmen and your senators. And you need to do it now. Don't forget it. Stop what you're doing. When your boss comes over and asks you why you're stopping doing what you're doing, tell them what you're doing, and then tell them to go call their congressmen and senators. This has to be stopped. Period. We should probably do some good news.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Let's do some good news. So good news is we've seen a change in the markets, and we have properties coming again, which we had properties before. And keep in mind, I've had to inform clients of this several times. As far as, getting an idea on how the trend of available properties for us, we have had just about the same number of properties closing in 2021 that we did in 2020, which was more properties than we closed in 2019. So as a company, we're still seeing about the same number of properties. What we've seen is a crazy increase in demand, low interest rates, right? I mean, everyone's excited. So we have properties coming like dozens at a time, which is amazing. And we'll be able to help clients be able to handle the demand, I guess, for clients. Ron, you look totally annoyed. It's hilarious.
I am so pissed at these people.
I will call my senators as soon as we're done with this, Ron. I will post about this. We're gonna stop it. There's enough of us. We're gonna stop it.
Unbelievable. These guys.
I'm an
are
optimist.
A joke. Okay. Yes. So I should stop being pissed. It is great that we have inventory. I guess the challenge with the inventory, Heather, is that, we sold 75 townhomes in like 9 hours the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the challenge. And then we had a waiting list of like 125 people, which has grown since then.
Mm-hmm.
But we got more stuff coming, and we're going to go down the line. So if you, if you've been waiting and you're like, what? Wait a second. Wait. Just, let us know. We'll put you on the list, and we'll definitely get to you for sure.
That's right.
So, and these properties are great too. This isn't like, these are fantastic.
This is not bottom of the barrel. This is awesome.
This is good stuff.
A good example of it is I called a lender to run numbers to figure out, rates and stuff to build my pro forma. And by the end of the call, he said, "Can I be on your list? I want to buy some of these." And I said, "Well, they're already all spoken for, but."
Yes, you can be on our list. No, you can't have any of these.
Yes, exactly. But the other thing too, Ron, is tell us about the news from Fannie Freddie.
Fannie and Freddie, which are government institutions, which means I hate them. But in this instance, I'm going to have to say they did something good. They've basically removed this ridiculousness that they had that slowed down mortgages for investment properties, which all that did was really just raise interest rates and penalize people who were buying investment properties, which is stupid and insane. They did it anyway. And now they've reversed it. And so we should see, already are seeing, I think, Heather, interest rates are starting to come back down.
For rental properties specifically.
I mean, let's say just a second. I mean, not that 4.25% was crazy, right? I mean, so we act like
4.5.
Interest rates went up to 4.25%. We act like the sky's falling. When we started selling back in 2005, the interest rates were like 7.5%. It wasn't a bad deal. 7.5, still not bad. Anyway,
you just get entitled, man. You get these crazy interest rates. It's hard when they climb.
Can't buy an investment property. The rate's 4.5. I mean, people prior to 2008 would have killed for a 4.5% interest rate. They were all 6%.
Yeah, that's so true.
Oh my gosh.
That is super good news though. We're super excited.
That is very good news.
Because really
that Fannie pulled their head out of their butt is great news.
Or stop living in fear. Goodness gracious.
And you know what? Yeah. Maybe after we call our congressmen and our senators, we should call Fannie and ask them how they managed to pull their head out of their butt, and we could have them help the rest of the government that seems to be completely not able to see anything except for the insides of their body. I double dog dare you to make that phone call and record. I may do that after we get off this show.
How did you manage?
How did you pull your head out? And can we just jump on a conference call with the White House and get them? And then maybe after that, we'll just call Congress, and maybe we can get both houses of Congress on a conference call, and you can help them understand how you pulled your head out.
Yeah. Ron, do you know how many people I talk to that say you should run for president? A lot. That's all.
I can't. I literally can't. Do you know that I can't even go? There are these summits for like marketers. I can't even go to those because I feel like at the end of the day, I have to take a shower.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a delousing good enough for having been in the halls of Congress or, God forbid, in a White House. The delousing that must have to take place before those people go home to their families so that they don't get it on their families has got to be, it's got to be pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I actually ever told anybody this on this show, but I actually was a delegate in Utah, and I did start to see how politics work. I actually liked politics until I saw how they work from both sides of the aisle, guys. This isn't a Republican versus Democrat thing. They're all a joke. And every one of them lies. Every single one of them is a liar. And some of the ones that everybody trusts, they're liars. I know they're liars because, I was there when they were lying. So all you Trump lovers out there, did you know that Donald Trump, when he said that he wasn't going to take money, I attended a fundraiser. I attended a Donald Trump fundraiser. He raised money. So he said he wasn't going to raise money, and then he raised money. Lie. That's a lie. That's called a lie. In my world and in everybody else's world, it's called a lie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could spend probably 2 or 3 or 4 different episodes on the lies of our current administration and our previous administration, and I've beaten both of them up. Every single person that goes there, whether they go there with good intentions, gets corrupted by that place. That place is just wrong. It's corrupt big time. This right here proves it, what we talked about today.
And it's discouraging to know it, right? To know that it's corrupt. So the good news is we can call our senators and congressmen today. So there's a takeaway, Ron.
One thing that both sides actually have in common is that they care that they keep their jobs.
Yep.
Yeah. Because that power, they're power hungry. Yeah. They're power hungry. So call them. Make sure that they understand that they will not keep their jobs if they don't fix this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's our takeaway. It's a unique takeaway for us. Our go out and make something happen this week is calling, making
Never
a difference.
before,
Don't be silent.
when we said that, has it made more difference than it does today. Get out and make something happen means get out and call your gosh dang senators and your congressman, even if you don't think it's going to make any difference because they're lunatics, right? It doesn't matter. Flood them with calls. Flood them with calls. On that happy note, get out there and make it happen.
Thanks, guys.
This has been the Get Real Podcast. To subscribe and for more information, including a list of all episodes, go to getrealestatesuccess.com.